All right, what is up, everybody? Shell Scout 0013 here reporting in for another list build. This time we're going to talk about Republic and again go over some Wookiees again, just because I had a friend who I've played D&D with and have played online TTS now with. He was trying to make a list and came up with a Wookiee list with Padme in it and a Lat and all Wookiees. And I figured that I would try to help him out. And I created a kind of a list with him, but I figured I would kind of talk about a little bit of stuff so that he could have a pretty good, cool understanding of maybe a few things just in case he didn't think of it or, anything like that. So, first off, let's go ahead and get started with go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com and subscribe for 15 bucks a month. I have now added a new 30-minute torture program. So for all the members, they have access to this whole new thing. And it's 4 days a week, 30 minutes of 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days, along with, everything else that you can do. And if you haven't already, also head to the Discord where, we had this, where I had just basically a member, Nagata, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it, submit a list just kind of for me to look at. And, it was very interesting and really cool. And, gave some feedback and hopefully it kind of helped out a little bit. And then, just kind of posting a little bit about the IRG and stuff and kind of just talking a little bit of Star Wars. So yeah, if you haven't already, go ahead and head to the Discord and sign up and join. Now, let's go ahead and talk about just kind of like a Wookiee lat list. Basically, we're trying to get the Wookiees in the lat and then get the lat in as much as we can and just wreak havoc on the gun lines. We're going to try to do what we can for some support, either to the lat or to the Wookiees. It just kind of depends on what you want to do and focus on. And maybe there's a way to use the lat as a middleman. You just have to, it's interesting. I'll explain. It's kind of cool. Maybe we'll see. But first off, let's go ahead and look at the Wookiee chieftain. Now we've looked at him before. He's got agile ones. When you perform a standard move, you can gain a dodge. So you can move and then move, and you'll gain 2 dodges. He's got charge. He's got duelist. So if you're attacking in melee, you can spend an aim to gain pierce 1, and then when defending against a melee, if you spend a dodge, you gain immune to pierce. Again, it doesn't refer to ranged attacks. It has to be melee only. Indomitable, so you're going to roll red defense dice instead of white dice for suppression, and then you have scale, which is really, really nice. He's got a double rainbow for his melee, and then a 4 red black for his ranged attack, which is range 1 to 3, impact 1, pierce 1, which is really, really nice. He surges both to offense and defense, which you really don't ever see happen defense-wise for a Wookiee, which is really cool. He's got 7 health, 2 courage, white defense dice, and a few things that we can really, really use to upgrade. All right, so, and as you notice, you can only have one Wookiee chieftain in a list. You can't have multiple ones. So there's a few different ways that you can, upgrade him, but with the fact that he's going to gain a dodge anytime he moves and he's got charge, you can move, gain 2 aims, and then get into melee and start melee and then have 2 dodges ready. Well, that's fantastic, but at the end of the round, you didn't use them. You have, dodges left. So I think vigilance probably is going to be the best thing you could put on him. If there was anything else that you wanted to put on, they don't have inspire, so that would be great. Strict orders wouldn't be the worst, maybe. Improvised orders is, okay. Aggressive tactics would be wonderful. And, yeah, he doesn't have courage 3 or anything, so inspiring presence wouldn't be that great. Commanding presence, you're probably going to have most of your people around him anyway. So I think vigilance is probably going to be your best, if not aggressive tactics. And then for training, offensive push could be good if you need him to get in and, move. You can use the offensive push to get an aim. So you move, get a dodge, and an aim, and then go to town on whoever it is. And then maybe the other one's tenacity. I think situational awareness is going to be fantastic because you're generating dodges each turn. And although you don't have nimble or anything, I think having those dodges to be able to cancel crits is imperative, really. And you probably are going to, you could use up close and personal, but again, with that one attack every single time you're in with agile, you're probably just better off using at least situational awareness and tenacity, because again, adding an extra red dice to a double rainbow, that's 7 dice. That's awesome. And your surge. My bad, guys. So this is where it can get fun and interesting. So let's just go with Padme first, okay? We're going to go with Padme, and with Padme, she has Exemplar, so friendly units at range 1 to 2 and in line of sight can spend green tokens. So if she, again, does quick thinking and then standby, no matter what unit it is, it just has friendly units. Don't have to be clone troopers. It can be your Wookiees. So why not do that? She's going to have authoritative. So when you would be issuing an order, you may issue an order to a friendly unit at range 1 to 2 instead. So it's kind of like Comms Relay already. And then nimble. So she's always going to have that dodge always. And then Sharpshooter 2, which is pretty fantastic. And she's only got range 1 to 2. So if you did take standby and maybe took Overwatch on her, it'd make it a little bit better, but you're probably not going to be shooting with her anyway. So really, I would just take either Vigilance, or if you're scared that, suppression is going to be an issue because you don't have anything else to take away a suppression, maybe lead by example might be better in this instance, just to give it a shot, because I bet your Wookiees are going to be getting shot a lot. Maybe not the first round, but definitely the closer you get. So there is a case for lead by example, but for now, for points reasons, let's just go with Vigilance. And then I think, again, situational awareness is going to be good because you're probably not going to be shooting with her. You're probably going to be quick thinking and standbying if you really wanted to make use of her standby exemplar and maybe put some Overwatch on Wookiees, which we would have the points for. Then you wouldn't need this because you're not attacking. Tenacity, you're never going to need. Seize the initiative, maybe, but really, I no. And then you don't need into the fray, hunter, endurance, duck and cover. So honestly, situational awareness. If she gets shot, she's got nimble and she's going to be able to have that dodge, hopefully. Another thing you could do is either prepared supplies or possibly portable scanner to keep giving out more dodges to make use of her vigilance just in case as well. And then you can, quick thinking and then hand out a dodge, or you can quick thinking and standby. Just kind of up to you. For now, I'm going to leave it off for the moment and just kind of see what happens. Now we do have to have a core. So we have to have 3. So we're going to go ahead and add our 3 at the moment, just naked. So let's get to our main guys down here, the Wookiees. For now, let's go with these because we're going to try something. I like the Battle Shield because at least with the Battle Shield Wookiee, offense and defense, with the offense, you're getting 2 red dice, which is not that bad. And then you're getting 2 black dice whenever it's in defense mode in melee. And so honestly, let's just start with tenacity. And we can go with Overwatch because of the standbys that Padme can take. And just in case, if you did want to take them on everyone, you can take them. Now, we're going to have a lat in this list just for the heck of it at the moment. So we're going to change Overwatch for into the fray to get that extra surge token for defense, because when you drop them off, you're probably going to drop them off around a lot of units, hopefully. So then that, into the fray will help give them a ton of surge tokens as soon as possible. And then with the gear slot, they're going to be getting an aim or a dodge. Let me go ahead and put this down here. So the LAT, the LAAT, pretty fun, armor completely, arsenal 2. So he's going to be able to shoot 2. He's got cover 1. So, which is nice because you have armor already, but then you're getting cover 1 and then hover air 2. So you can reverse, strafe, standby. You're going to ignore any terrain that's height 2 or lower. You're immune to blast and range 1 weapons and melee. And then your closed transport. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and do the clone shock trooper pilot for this one. So after a unit you are transporting disembarks, it's going to gain a surge token and either an aim or a dodge. So your Wookiees, obviously, don't surge the defense. So it's going to be really nice to gain any kind of surges. And so a surge from this and either an aim or a dodge will be fantastic. So if if you know you're going to be able to charge into melee, you're going to be able to basically use the aim and take an aim, and we could have targeting scopes, which will allow you to make sure that you can reroll 3 instead of 2 dice. And then if not, and you wanted to take that dodge, well, hey, you get an extra dodge and a surge. So that'll really help your defense a lot more. So it's just kind of up to you of what you want to do. Now, if you maybe somehow place the lat in the middle in between, you know, a Wookiee unit in the back, the lat, and then, your enemy, then you can, disembark at the, near the end-ish of your turn, possibly, or near the beginning. And hopefully there's still, enough health on the lat. You disembark your Wookiees, they go ahead and charge into melee. And then at the end, hopefully you can try and embark another Wookiee warrior unit onto the lat. And then at the end of the turn, clean up, you go ahead and do your next turn. That turn, you already have a unit that is embarked. Maybe you make one move with the lat and then you shoot. And then when it's time for the Wookiees in the lat to disembark, hopefully, again, when you're disembarking, it'll gain another surge and a dodge. So it's just an extra way to kind of keep Wookiees gaining some extra tokens, 2 tokens at once for an action, basically disembarking, and then another move and then charge, instead of having to take a dodge and then move. You're getting one more token, and if you can time that right, I'm sure that'd be perfect. But yes, 9 activations, you have 14 points left. So what I really wanted to do was give it the onboard comms channel to make sure it can get in order. And you do have 11 points left, so you can either choose the armor piercing shells or the high energy shells. I like the high energy shells because of high velocity and critical 1. But if you wanted the armor piercing shells, there's nothing against that. So now here it is, 797. You've got 9 activations. You have the lat that's going to be able to bring in one of these Wookiee warriors. You've got the Wookiee warriors who are going to have Overwatch, which can use Padme's standbys. You've got some clone troopers that are just there trying to do what they can. And then you've got your Wookiee chieftain going along with those 2 Wookiee warriors, following behind Padme or doing anything that they need with each other. And then, for your command cards, if you wanted to do Our Fate is in Our Hands, you can give it to someone else other than Padme at range 1 and 2 and in line of sight. Honestly, what I would do are these 2, the synchronized offensive, because what you're going to do is you're going to give it to the lat when it needs it, which is going to give an order to your Wookiee warriors, which also is going to go ahead and give an order to one of the phase 1 clone troopers. So at least if you needed it, you can have one extra order out, at least one extra order out. And then, if you wanted to do ambush, you could do ambush. But yeah, again, if you're worried about suppression, I would go with inspiration. What is it? Lead by example. So inspire. Yeah. But let's go back. We're going to go ahead and just go with these 2. And then when your friendly unit is issued an order by a commander Wookiee warrior trooper unit, if it's wounded, like 1 wound, or if it has one or more of its minis been defeated, it's going to get an aim, a dodge, and a surge, so all 3. So if it's only got 1 wound, and so say that you disembarked and, you were able to charge, but then you got a wound, then you can play this, and it's going to go ahead and gain a ton of tokens, and then you can go ahead and aim again. So if you're going after someone who's very, very powerful, and maybe they haven't gone yet, that's not the worst thing, because then you can just go with this card next to go ahead and give them everything possible to try and go first to defeat, your enemy or whoever it is. Obviously, you can go with the Wookiee 2-pip. So each friendly Wookiee Trooper unit that is issued in order by a Commander Wookiee Trooper unit is issued gains Agile 1. So this is another way to have now 3 units with Agile 1. So they can move, gain a dodge, and then they have charge and attack. So that's why also offensive push wouldn't be that bad. But also if you have Padme kind of doing what she can to generate some aims, then that would be really nice. If there was a way to, if you didn't want Overwatch on here, maybe there would be a way to fit electro binoculars on one of the phase ones to basically give out some aims as well and be a little bit more supportive for the Wookiees or towards anyone else. That's just up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put the Overwatch back on for these guys. Then, if we were to keep looking at our orders, so definitely get that one to get those dodges. You could go with aggressive negotiations because it is Padme and a trooper unit, and you could go with authoritative and basically comms link it to someone else. So 2 Wookiees could get this. So when Padme issues an order to a trooper unit, that unit can either perform a speed 1 move or gain a dodge, an aim, or a surge token. So this would be great for the Wookiees because then they can get that extra speed 1 move to get a little bit closer to your enemy before doing their, move charge. So there's lots of good things to do and lots of ways to be able to give these Wookiees tons of dodges and stuff while they're out and about. And then if you wanted, I think diplomatic cover would be good because of the secret mission and infiltrate, which should hopefully kind of, spread out what your opponent has to think about. So instead of keeping everyone together and everyone just going ham on what they can, now you have Padme with secret mission who they're going to have to go after. You've got your chieftain and along with your Wookiees doing what they need to be doing and charging in. And then you also have your lat with a Wookiee going in. So you kind of have your opponent thinking about 3 different things, which is really, really, really nice. So that's why I would go with that one. And then the 3-pip for the Wookiees is just 3 troopers. So just in case you have to give it to a clone, you can, but each friendly Wookiee trooper unit that is issued an order by the chieftain is going to gain demoralize. So this is a demoralize 1. So whenever you activate, you're going to be able to dish out a suppression to units that range 1. I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. 1 to 2, at range 1 to 2. Just in case you're unfamiliar, so after your rally step, an enemy unit at range 1 to 2 gains 1 suppression token because it's demoralized 1. All right. Boom, baby. So yeah, so we have a way to transport the Wookiees in, get them into the middle of the fight. These Wookiee warriors are charging in as much as possible. Now, you would have to probably get rid of Overwatch on some of these guys if you wanted to change one of these Wookiees to a shooty Wookiee. Shooty, that's what I said. Shooty, not the other thing. And honestly, give yourself the bowcaster to get that pierce. And then honestly, offensive push would be really good on there because of the getting that move and aim, just because you're going to need that aim. And they're range 1 to 3 with the bowcaster. If you wanted to save more points, honestly, you could go with the long gun Wookiee, lay down suppressive fire to get your other Wookiee warriors in, which wouldn't be that bad. That gives you the offensive push. They have range 1 to 3, and it's 2 white each. They do surge, thankfully. And then honestly, if you're going to go with the long gun, it gives you extra points to take targeting scopes, which I highly would recommend, probably with these Wookiee warriors. That gives you 4 more points. If you wanted to keep Overwatch at least on one of them, you could, giving you a flat 800 even. And that is another way to do it with the long gun and the lat, getting in the big Wookiees. You've got your 2 Wookiees. This one laying suppressive fire for this Wookiee. And then your phase 1s. This is 9 activations. I think this is a good list, even though it's 9 and I preferably like 10. I think this is going to work. And then you do have a range 1 to 4, which is nice, even though you don't have any snipers. And then objective wise, let's kind of see, and I'll go over another one. I want to do one with R2D2 because R2D2 is also going to gain secret mission without having the command card. And it's also going to be able to heal the lat. So I'm going to go over that as well. But at the moment, I think, intercept transmissions wouldn't be that bad because you're going to be able to get your Wookiee warriors into the back, and you're still hopefully going to be able to keep your lat. You just need to be really careful and probably strafe a little bit to keep the weak point out of the way of the enemy. Key positions wouldn't be that bad because, again, you can drop in. Recover the supplies wouldn't be the worst. Sabotage, you could go with, and the only reason I say sabotage is because of secret mission. I mean, if you do tie, you do have a way at least of getting Padme somewhere, and or with the lat getting in there, you can hopefully cause a lot of disruptions. Hostage exchange, probably, maybe not. Payload would be okay. And recover the supplies because you have infiltrate with her 3-pip might not be the worst thing. Deployment, key positions for sure for your Wookiees. Battle lines wouldn't be the worst because then you can hopefully try to flank with your Wookiees and or the lat. The long march, you do have at least one command card that allows you a free speed 1 move, so the long march wouldn't be the worst. Major offensive would be pretty good. Rollout would probably be better because with rollout, you're going to be able to, deploy within range 1 of your deployment zone, your vehicle. So, if you're red or blue, you can deploy out here within that range. So you can get your lat a little bit closer. And then for conditions, this is the hard part. So clear conditions wouldn't be the worst. Hostile environment, you do have a lot of courage 2 units. So it could be okay. So with hostile, as long as you are in base contact, you can take off suppression. So if you're not in base contact with a piece of terrain, you can't remove suppression at the end phase. Limited viz wouldn't be that bad, especially trying to charge in your Wookiees who are only range 1 to 2 and with cover of Padme. But you do have at least a range 4, so it's possible. Maybe we'll try it. Fortified positions wouldn't be that bad. Supply drop would be okay. And if you wanted to do fortified, you could, unless you wanted clear conditions. But that's just up to you. All right, guys. So there's that one. All right. So I have pretty much this saved already. It might have a few different things, but we'll go ahead and save anyway. Now let's take out Padme and let's put in R2D2. So that's going to give us a lot of different points to use. And we'll keep R2D2 for the lat for some healing so that your Wookiees can keep embarking and hopefully disembarking if possible and keeping that alive. The other thing you can do is give your phase 1 or clone troopers a phase 1 clone specialist. And then also give one of them electro binoculars. So I say this is because now that you've got lots of ways for the clone troopers to generate their own dodges or aims if they need it, and then give out an extra aim to anybody, especially to the Wookiee warriors back here in the back. And that would be a good way to hopefully try and support these Wookiees. You don't need Overwatch at that point. So what you can also do if you wanted to keep it flat on is do prepared supplies on this clone trooper unit, because this would be your supporting clone trooper unit, which could hopefully support these with the phase 1 and prepared supplies, and then use the electro binoculars to give to the Wookiee Kashyyyk defenders while the other Wookiees are going in. You're laying down suppressive fire with this long range Wookiee, and then the lad's trying to go in, deliver the package, and do as much damage as possible. And if you wanted, if you wanted to deal out more suppression, you could probably give out sonic imploders to someone. If you didn't want the prepared supplies on the phase 1 clone troopers, you could give it to R2D2, who could have the comms relay. And with that, if you were to choose any of R2's cards, then you'd just be able to give that order instead of to him to somebody else. Now, R2 naturally has an attack range of melee to range 1. This is melee to range 1, but this has blast, spray, and suppressive. His normal gun is not that, it's just suppressive. So he could do a lot more to a bigger unit with the impromptu immolation. If you didn't want to go with that, I totally understand. I think push would also be pretty good, especially to make sure your Wookiee warriors are more focused in getting in and or giving it to the lat, which is going to give an onboard comms channel someone. So that's what I would do, honestly. Smokescreen would be okay. Now, smokescreen is going to give it to R2 and a trooper, so you could just give it to maybe the Wookiee warriors right here and the other Wookiee warriors with the comms relay on there. And then at the start of the activation phase, R2 may perform the following. He doesn't need the order. It doesn't need to happen during his turn. So it doesn't necessarily, he doesn't need the order necessarily. He can just go ahead and freely place that smoke token within range 1 and line of sight of himself to give cover to the Wookiee warriors when they need it the most. So that would be absolutely fantastic to have. And now you have support for the lat with R2D2. You've got support from the phase 1s for the Wookiee warriors here. You got a command card that'll kind of help support the Wookiee warriors. You've got the lat giving in these. Hopefully, if anyone else can get on the lat and then disembark again, possibly that's a good strategy. It just depends on terrain, honestly, and line of sight. Your Wookiee chieftain's going to be able to do a lot himself and keep up with the Wookiees. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Honestly, again, with the different objectives, it's just each thing is going to come differently, and you're just going to have to plan how you can. But honestly, that's it, guys. If you liked this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Subscribe for sure. I've been forgetting to say all of that stuff. Like and subscribe. So go ahead, like and subscribe. Go ahead and head to theburnacademy.com to subscribe there for 15 bucks a month. And you're going to get access to the new 30-minute torture program. There's more stuff coming out. I'm trying to do more and more each time. And again, you'll be invited to the, private Facebook group where you'll just be, where I've started it up a little bit. That one's a little bit new as well. So I'm trying to grow a little bit here. And then for the lists and for anything you've got questions about, feel free. This is the fastest way to reach me. And I'm always looking at this more importantly than these every other day or every day, basically. And I'll go and visit, other ones every now and then. And yeah, and if you guys have any ideas or anything you want me to cover or talk about, please leave it down below. If you think that this is a good list, tell me if you would try it. And if you do try it, definitely tag me in it so I can see how it went and what you did. But all right, guys, I will catch you later. Hopefully y'all have had a great day and a great weekend, and may the force be with you.